Welcome back to Anything That Rolls. You can't be at the motorcycle rally without a motorcycle. So here's Kyle. Kyle, tell me about this beauty right here.
This is my 2010 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. It's got Reinhardt 2-in-1 system on it. It's got a Thunder Max EFI fuel controller on it. It's got a high flow performance air kit, and it's got a custom paint job.
So what does something like this run me?
Well, I mean, it could run anywhere from $18,000 to $20,000.
All right, well, sounds good. Okay, so I'm gonna get on here, and you're gonna help me through. How do I get on?
Absolutely. Okay. Basically, whenever you get in a motorcycle, you want to get on from the left side.
Okay. All right.
So once you get on the motorcycle, you put your right hand over and you grab the front brake.
Yeah.
All right. You swing your leg over the bags.
Okay.
Sit down.
Yay.
And now you're on a bike.
So far, so good. This. I feel good on this.
It's the best riding bike there is.
Okay, so now what's the next step?
Well, I think the next step we could do here is we can always turn on the ignition. You could hear the motor. So what we're gonna do is turn the ignition.
Yeah.
It's set to run.
Oh. Oh yeah. That's great. How am I doing so far?
You're doing great.
Do I pull it back like
now
that?
You can act like every Harley rider and crank it up.
Oh yeah. Do I need to put my feet on something? All right, well, I'm going to take my first ride in this gorgeous bike while you guys take a look at Safe Auto's first rides. All right, you know, we go around, ask everybody about their first rides. I have to ask you, what was the very first thing that you drove or rode?
The very first thing that I drove myself was a little Suzuki mini bike that my dad bought me when I was 9 years old.
Did you like it?
You know what? Me and my brother was talking about it. My brother's 11 months younger than me, so we both rode it. It was the loudest motorcycle to this date that I've ever owned, that little 50cc Suzuki.
Yeah, you have any crazy stories? Have you tried any tricks or anything on that?
We used to take it to my uncle's ranch, and we only had the one bike between me and my brother. We had a stopwatch, so we would clock it and see who could go the fastest from the farmhouse to the front gate and back. But my brother used to beat me all the time, but he cheated. He wouldn't go all the way, but I couldn't prove it. So he was always about a minute faster than me, and I know he didn't go all the way.
So you can always hold that over his head, right?
He's a cheater.
He's a cheater. For the record, he's a cheater.
My brother's a cheater.
No, you are a famous guy. Everybody knows about your bikes. So tell me a little bit about the show.
We do a TV show called Mall's Roadhouse on True TV, and it's a story about my family and me, and about, you know, about our lives and the things that happen, you know. But it's good. I got my mom in it, my wife, and my daughter, who's here with me today, and then some of the characters that work for us, and it's just good entertainment.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you for being on our show today. Check out your show. What day and time?
It's on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock.
Now we want you to tell us about your first ride. Just visit us on Facebook at Anything That Rolls ATR or 39online.com. First Rides, brought to you by Safe Auto.
Welcome back to Anything That Rolls. Of course, you know we always do a slickest ride. Well, Rick knows slick rides. You've got some of the coolest bikes I've ever seen. Tell me about some of these custom bikes.
Well, you know, I mean, to me, a motorcycle has to be functional, but it also is like my interpretation of my art. And like this bike here is called the Time Warp, and it's 100 years of American history. So it's not only very functional, it's also something cool to look at, you know, and that's what I think a motorcycle should be.
Absolutely. When you're talking to people about customizing their rides, what's the first thing you ask them?
What do they like? You know, tell me a little bit about yourself and what kind of riding you do and that kind of thing. But I want it to be more than just a Harley with a paint job, you know, or a Honda with a paint job. I want it to be an expression of who they are as a person.
Okay, now we are going to take a look at some of these other gorgeous motorcycles you have here while you guys take a look at this week's Slickest Rides winner.
Meet this week's Royal Purple Slickest Rides winner, Sean Edmonds. His 1959 Austin Healey Bug-Eye Sprite has been in his family for almost 50 years now. This beauty is running a 948cc engine with dual side draft carburetors and a 4-speed transmission. Sean's dad drove it to work on the weekdays back in 1961 and then took it to rallies and races on the weekends. Sean inherited the Bug-Eye from his dad in 1988, and after giving it some much-needed TLC, Sean taught his oldest son Nick how to drive in his car. Sean says the hardest part about having such a classic car is when his kids were younger, they would always want to set their toys on it or play in and around it. But nowadays, you could say the entire family is into cars, with mom and daughter driving a 2010 Mini Cooper and his son Nick driving a 1959 VW Baja Bug. It's safe to say the Edmonds family appreciates cars. Congrats to you, Sean, for winning this week's Royal Purple Slickest Rides prize pack.
Next week on Anything That Rolls, it's the drag race of all drag races, Pink's All Out, and we've got you covered from start to finish on Anything That Rolls, Saturdays at 12:30. Well, that's it for this week's show at Anything That Rolls. We have had so much fun out here at the Lonestar Rally. Got tattoos, met some celebrities, even had a chance for a cold one. Anyhow, we have some stuff that has definitely been left on the cutting room floor. You want to check it out at 39online.com, our YouTube page at Anything That Rolls, and Facebook, Anything That Rolls. We'll see you next week. All right, so in case TV thing doesn't work out. Just kidding. Did you hear what I said? Yeah. I just had a little to drink, officer, I swear. Take one.